All right, unit 7.1, solving two-step equations. For vocab. First one is a linear equation, which we are very familiar with because we were just graphing all of those in unit 5. A linear equation is an equation between two variables that gives a straight line when plotted on a graph. Second one, a coefficient, a numerical or constant quantity placed before and multiplying the variable in an algebraic expression. Example, the 4 and 4xy. 4x, 4 is your constant. What if it's just y by itself? What's my constant if it's y by itself? It has one, you just can't see it. 1. That assumes 1 would be the coefficient. Right? Equivalent. That means equal. Equations that have the same solution. Another word for solution is answer. So you solve a problem, you get an answer. The solution to it. And number 4, a solution, any and all values of the variable or variables that satisfies an equation. You're going to be learning as we get into the chapter or into the unit, does it have one solution? That would be like x equals 5, x equals 2. Or maybe there's going to be no solution. When the variables cancel out, you're going to have 0 equals 10, or 4 equals 2. Or you could have all solutions, infinite, where 0 equals 0, the variable cancels out, 2 equals 2, 5 equals 5, so on. All right, let's do what we're doing here, A, B, C, and D. It says check if the given value is a solution of the equation. Basically, what they're saying, say you solved this equation, x divided by 9 equals 12, and you got the answer 21. Is 21 the solution to that equation? Yes or no? Well, if I put 21 for x, is 21 divided by 9 12? No. So no, that is not a solution. And if that's what you would have gotten for the answer, you'd have to go back and redo it, because you know it didn't work. This is how you would check your answers. How about this one? 176 divided by x equals 16 if x is 11. If I put 11 in here. Is 176 divided by 11 16? Alright, so what do you think? Yes or no? If you got 11 for the answer to that, did you do it right? Yes, you did. Yes is the solution because 176 divided by 11 is 16. How about here? You solve this equation. This is a two-step equation where these were just one-step equations. Here I would have to plus 8 to both sides and then divide by 3. If I would have gotten 5 for my answer, is that right? Yes or no? 3 times 5 minus 8. Does that equal 7? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why, yes it does. So you know you would have gotten the right answer. Now remember, those blue calculators don't do orders of operations. If some of you are using a scientific one, those do orders of operations, some of them. But here you'd have to go 3 times 5, it was in order anyway. 15 minus 8 is 7. How about here? If I would have gotten a negative 8. 1/2 times negative 8 is negative 4. So what's negative 4 minus 21? What do I get there? I would get negative 25. So does that equal a negative 17? No. That one was not a solution. You'd have to go back and fix it. All right, next page. Solve each equation. It may be beneficial to check your answer. Always check your answer, and I'm going to let you do it on the calculator. So what I want you to do, we're going to do this one together to refresh our memory. This is a one-step equation that we're doing. So we have x or 1x, right? We need to get that all by itself. So we have to red rover, send over, what's the inverse operation of a plus 9.5? Minus 9.5 to both sides. That cancels out, makes 0, so I bring down my x equals, what's 12.7 minus 9.5? 3.2. Now before you would write, you'd get all this in your notes, before you would write it on your board and ever so proudly hold it up thinking that your answer is right because you're brilliant, which most of you are, you need to check that on your calculator. On your calculator, put in for the x, 3.2 plus 9.5, does that equal 12.7? Yes, it does. So then you would ever so proudly hold up your answer on your board because it would be right. So let's try this one, a one-step equation. See if you remember that one. Hold up your answer on your board. What does this mean, negative 4x? That means negative 4 times x. Negative 4x, that means negative 4 times x. So if you got 22, you were correct. What did we do? The inverse of negative 4 times x is, the inverse of times is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by what? Negative 4. Okay? When you multiply and divide, you keep the sign. So you divide by a negative 4. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. So that turns into x equals, negative by a negative is a positive. Goes into there how many times? Should have gotten a positive 22. But then you checked it on your calculator. A negative 4 times a positive 22. Yes, that does work. Please check them on your calculator. Okay, hold up your answer for this one. X minus 18. 23 equals x minus 18. So what's the first thing I had to do here? The inverse was what? Exactly. I had to plus this 18 to both sides. So I bring down my x equals 23 plus 18 is 41. Alright, now try this one. This means x divided by 5. So you have to do the inverse of division. Make sure you watch your signs. What's the inverse of division? Multiplication. So the opposite of x divided by 5 is multiply times 5, or 5 over 1. So that cancels out. Those end up canceling out. X equals, and then we had to multiply this by 5. You get negative 30. Alright? Here, I'm not going to waste time rewriting this. The exact same thing is on page 32 of your notes. Alright? The exact same thing is on page 32 in your notes. The only thing missing on page 32 is, you're looking at page 32 in your notes, there's 2 blanks that are missing. Anybody want to take a guess at what goes in there for the number 4? Use inverse operations to get the variable on the what side of the what? Starts with an S. Get the variable on the same side of the, starts with an E, equation. Right? We want to get all our numbers on one side and all our variables on the other. It's exactly the same thing as page 32. Alright, let's go to the example 3 problems. Now they're 2-step equations. The ones we just got done doing were 1 step. We either had to multiply, divide, add, or subtract. This one, they're 2 steps. I have to get all my numbers on one side and my variables on the other before I can solve it. So what am I going to red rover here? Red rover, send over 7, because I want to get all my variables on one side and my numbers on the other. So let's move this 7. Red rover, how will I do that? The inverse is a minus 7 to both sides. So 4x equals what? What's 51 minus 7? What is it? It is 44. Now what do I do? Now we're down to a 1-step problem. To finalize this, I have to, yes I do, nicely done, divide by 4. x equals, so that turns into 1, 11. And then you will check it on your calculator. 4 times 11 plus 7. Is that a solution? Yes. How many solutions to that equation? How many solutions to that equation? How many? 1. What is it? 11. There's only one number in the whole world that'll work, and it's 11. All right, so here we go. Two-step equation. We want to solve for the x, 5.2x. Hold up your answer when you get it, please. Check it on your calculator. So we had to do what? Minus 23.9 to both sides. So what happened over here, and you guys didn't even get confused, this canceled out. 5.2x equals, what happened here? We got a what? A what?
Negative number.
We got a negative number. 6.22 minus, we got a negative 17.68, right? And then you had to do what to finalize this?
Divided by 5.2.
Divide both sides by 5.2. And a negative divided by a positive is a negative. A negative what? 3.4 should have been what you got. Nicely done. All right, see what you get for this one. X divided by 9 plus 17 equals 12. So what was the first thing you had to do? Minus 17 to both sides. Now I've got x divided by 9 equals what? What's 12 minus 17? Negative 5. So now what's the inverse of dividing by 9? Timesing by 9. Timesing by 9. So bring my x down. X equals what? A negative 45. Now you must show all your work on your homework today. Show these steps. And I'm not doing it to be mean, just because this is only 1 and 2 step equations. These are going to be building. Tomorrow we're going to be adding the distributive property, then we're going to be adding like terms. You're going to be red rovering and multiplying. These problems, consider them puzzles. You have to keep bringing down your steps in your work. So make sure you keep it neat and keep bringing down all your work to show. All right? D, what do you get for that? All right, we're plussing 13 here. So we have a negative 8 and a positive 13. Fight or no fight right here? Fight. Who wins? Positive 13. So our answer is going to be a positive what? 5. So I subtract, I get a positive 5. These cancel out. So I've got x divided by 4 equals positive 5 so far. Now the final step to do what is what there? To solve this is what? What operation? What inverse? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So I've got x divided by 4, so what do I need to do to both sides to solve this? I need to multiply both sides by 4. So x equals positive 5 times 4 is 20. E. Now be careful. If you bring this down, this is a negative. Put your assumed ones in here. I want to go over this one together with you, because then you'll remember to do that this is a negative 2x when we get down here to bring down, that you don't just bring down a 2x down here, you have to bring down a negative 2x. So up here, what did you do first? What do I do first to this one? I what? If you have a 44 for an answer, it's not right. What do I have to do first to this problem? Yes, I have to minus 12, because this, if there's no sign there, it's a positive 12. So the inverse of this is to minus 12 to both sides, because we're solving for our negative 1x here. So minus 12 to both sides. So we got our plus 12 and our minus 12. Red Rover, we sent it over. Those disappear. Now don't forget to bring the signs down. It's a negative 1x that we bring down. A negative 1x equals, just like here on the next one, you'll have to bring down a negative 2x. Alright, so a negative 1x, what is 32 minus 12? You can do that one in your head. You get 20. Now we can never leave our answer with a negative variable, so how do I finish this final step right here?
Put it on the bottom.
I divide both sides by what? The negative 1, because that makes it positive. Negative divided by a negative turns into a positive 1x. Equals, what's 20 divided by a negative 1? A negative 20. So, x equals a negative 20. 1x or just x, same thing. I'd accept either answer, they mean the same. Equal negative 20. Alright, so I want you to solve this one. Don't put your answer on your board. Just raise your hand when you get the answer. And if you have the right answer, I will give you your packet. You need to do pages 1 and 2 in your packet. I can tell you if you come up with the number 8 for this answer, it's wrong. Alright, it's not 8.
Okay, so you minus 17 to both sides. Those cancel out. Now make sure you bring down, we talked about minus 2x and negative 2x, same thing, equals, and a negative 1 and a negative 17 gives you a negative 18. Now you divide both sides by the negative 2, and x equals, negative divided by a negative is a positive, positive 9. Alright, pages 1 and 2 in your packet.